Hey, PreSales Collective, it's James Kaikis here, and I am so excited to introduce you to Kevin Mefford, our new head of community. Welcome, Kevin. We're glad to have you at PreSales Collective. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Kevin? And I'm not as interested in your LinkedIn or your resume. Who are you as a person?
Yeah, thank you, James. So excited to be here and part of the PreSales Collective. Can't wait to meet everyone and get started. So just a few things about me. I'm based in Austin, Texas, basically landed here right out of college. Have 3 kids. So my son is in Colorado, my older daughter is in Virginia, and my youngest daughter, who's still at home, is starting high school this year. So a lot of very different life stages for me there. Personally, I'm really big into the outdoors, whether it's camping or hiking. Really started as my time as a youth in Boy Scouts, actually continued as an adult volunteer as my son was coming up through the program. So I love getting outside, though usually when I have the family with me, it's not too primitive or too strenuous, but love to get out when I can. And then outside of that, I also, one of my, as I tell people, my nerdier hobbies, I run a synchronized Christmas light show at my house. So I started a few years ago. Basically, I build a bunch of different props. I program the light shows in software to run each year. And the highlight of my show is I have a 16-foot tall snowman built out of pipe sitting in the middle of my yard. But really my biggest hobby, my personal outside of work activity is competitive axe throwing. So I actually discovered it part of a work team building event a little over 3 years ago. A bunch of us on my team ended up joining one of the local leagues, and I haven't looked back. I've managed to be crowned our league champion a few times here in Austin, and I even qualified for the international championships, which are held in Toronto each year, for the last 2 years. Of course, 2021, we lost that. We had kind of our last trip in February of 2020. But it's a great community. I love meeting all the different people. It's competitive. It gets out of that, a little bit of that excitement and work stress out of the way. In fact, I'm actually heading up to Baltimore soon for a tournament with people from across the US. So that's a little bit about me.
That is awesome. I really appreciate you breaking that down and hearing that you are an axe throwing champion. That's pretty incredible as well. And I can't wait for the Christmas holiday light show at your house in Austin this year.
I will definitely share videos.
Kevin, so that's incredible, and I really appreciate you sharing those personal details. But I'm really curious, like, what is your favorite thing about pre-sales?
Really, for me, it's the variety of problem solving we get to do. As I think about it, there are always new challenges. There are new prospects coming in all the time. And what I've always loved is, finding ways to help them solve those business issues. There's really nothing better than that light bulb moment in a meeting or a demonstration where someone clicks and goes, oh, this isn't just about technology. Oh, you're going to help us do that. And for me, that's the highlight. And the fact that it's always new, it's always changing, has always appealed to me throughout my career in pre-sales.
Yeah, I love that response, right? I love the light bulb moment. It's like so fulfilling when that happens. And you're right, the dynamic day to day is really what keeps it interesting and keeps it fun. And with PreSales Collective, we're doing our best to help elevate the profession. And so I'm curious, what do you see as the future of pre-sales, and how do you see PreSales Collective playing a role in that?
I mean, part of it's always been there. Pre-sales has always been asked to bridge that purely technical to the business. But for me, the future is that's just going to become more and more important. Those business skills, the soft skills, if you will. It's not just about, hey, I'm great at technology. Hey, I can run a great demo. And so for me, really as a profession, I think we need to keep strengthening those non-technical aspects of our roles and also really help educate our business associates, those account executives that we're working with, people across the organization, to really understand what is pre-sales, how can we partner with them beyond just the, hey, we're going to show up and do a demo. That's really not what pre-sales should be about. And so for me, I see PreSales Collective as a really valuable resource in helping all of us learn from each other. Discuss those experiences, understand what's been working, how could we be getting better, as well as just the ongoing enablement and training aspects, the various courses that PreSales Collective has already been putting out, the great sponsors and partners that we work with to help understand as an overall profession, how can we all get better?
Yeah. Amazing, Kevin. And you're so right about this. And, in terms of like giving back to the community, I'm so happy to have you on board for PreSales Collective because you've been a great part of our Austin group and our local chapter there. You were one of the judges for demo days and the global demo competition. So you understand what PreSales Collective is all about and the impact it can really make on not just a local community, but the global community. And so I'm so happy to have you on board and have you as the head of community. So with that, Kevin, how should people interact with you? How can they engage with you?
Every way there is. So for me, by all means, connect with me on LinkedIn, send me direct messages on Slack, email me. I'm here for everyone. I really want to keep building on that community. The PreSales Collective has been such a great resource for me over the last year, as far as just connecting with other folks in the industry and talking through what are the options, how do we progress our careers. So for me, I'm looking forward to being that resource as well and helping facilitate it across all of our thousands of pre-sales practitioners. So one of my biggest efforts is working with our local chapters as they're starting to plan events, whether that's in person, virtual, helping them get as much out of it as they can. And another piece, of course, is building on our Slack engagement. So we've started some efforts along that to improve that experience and bring more people back into the Slack channels, because really that's the easiest way for us to build that ongoing dialogue with each other. And so for me, I really look forward to meeting as many people as I can. I'm going to be attending some of the in-person events as those are coming on. Obviously, I'll join a lot of the virtual ones as well. Because really for me, my biggest goal is just how do we find more ways to spread that message of the PreSales Collective? And so I would love to hear from anyone who has ideas about that or who wants to become involved as a volunteer.
Awesome. I love it, Kevin. So we are very lucky and fortunate to have you as the head of community for PreSales Collective. I'm so glad to have you on this journey. It's been a pleasure working with you prior to you joining us full time, and the future is bright for PreSales Collective and for PreSales Academy. So thanks for joining us, and let's do this thing.
Thanks a lot, James. I look forward to it.
You too. Thanks, Kevin.